little kid since I was born and raised Mormon, and she told me she was really proud of me for coming out and speaking my beliefs, my relationship with God now, my kind of like deconstruction of Mormonism, even though she is still practicing Mormonism. She's I do believe that there are Mormons out there that have more Christian spirits than even some Christians, and vice versa for sure. But she said something to me that I had been thinking about actually since she told it to me. So for like a number of hours now. She was very nice and very sweet about it. But she was talking about how Christians will mock other Christians, and maybe like Mormon Christians and other Christians, blah, 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 think differently, but like mocking each other, it like does no good, which like I do agree. I do have a sense of humor. I try to approach this channel with a sense of humor. I try to approach my deconstruction with a sense of humor. I've found out a lot of things. Even since leaving, I've found out a lot of things that to me, like, I have a sense of humor, but I just want to clarify, I am not trying to mock. And Christians, at least in my opinion, good-hearted Christians, they're not telling Mormons they aren't Christian in order to mock them. They're telling them that out of genuine concern. And that's where my heart comes from, is that I try to open up people's eyes to the differences out of genuine concern. A lot of times when I make my videos, I have one very particular person in mind who I know no one on this earth can be anyone else's savior. Only Jesus Christ can be someone's savior. However, it is on me to speak my beliefs, to speak my testimony, to criticize something that I came from now that I know better, now that I know God. And I don't mean to sit here and say, like, I know better than you. That's not what I'm trying to get across at all. But I am not approaching this channel or intending to approach it in mocking, even though I do approach a lot of things in life with a sense of humor. That's true. But the intention is not to mock. The intention is to, like, raise the red flags of concern. Because it is very concerning. And it is not intended to be mocking, but genuinely, wholeheartedly, from the bottom of my heart, from the depth of my soul, believe that Mormonism is a counterfeit from the devil himself. I just wholeheartedly believe, wholeheartedly. And I know that some of you will not agree. I'm not here to argue, like, what I believe. I'm just telling you what I believe. I wholeheartedly believe that the greatest deception from the devil is convincing people that there's nothing wrong and that they are Christians. So no, it's not, you're not Christian in the same way of like, you can't sit with us. You can't sit with us. You can't sit with us. It's not that. Christians want Mormons to become Christians. They just don't believe that Mormons are Christians. And that's not for name calling. That's not for being mean. It's not intended for being mean, at least from well-intending Christians, I would say. I'm sure there are some out there that are just trying to be mean. But they say that out of genuine, wholehearted concern. No, I'm not trying to say Mormons aren't Christians and blah, 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 to nitpick and to mock, but because I genuinely, wholeheartedly believe that. And I genuinely, wholeheartedly believe that, not in a, I'm better than you, you're better than me, not anything like that, but in a genuine concern for Mormons. And I think of this a lot, of the very one person in my head who I think of first and foremost. So no, I cope in life with everything that I come across with humor. I just do. I always have. If you can't read that off me by this point, I do apologize. I am not trying to mock. However, I am trying to open people's eyes to the red flags. I just want to clarify, because the woman I spoke to earlier said this, and I agree with her. I get it. I've had other family members say this. I've heard some of my aunts say this. They say it's the people. If it was the people and the culture, they're like, I totally agree. I think there's horrible people in the culture and the people, but it doesn't do any good to nitpick the doctrine. To me, and to most Christians who look at Mormonism, the doctrine is the issue. It is the issue. And it's not a matter of nitpicking or mocking or just trying to be mean. I definitely think, you have to come to Christians, to Mormons, and Mormons to Christians with kindness and with love. She told me that earlier, too. I agree 100%. That's also why I try my best not to get in arguments with people in the comments or anything like that. That doesn't do any good. Put my beliefs out there, put my thoughts out there, put my relationship with God out there. But arguing in the comments, if I'm arguing with people in my comments, it's not going to do any good. But I just noticed people say that. They're like, yeah, if it's the culture, if it's the people, and this isn't the tone I'm putting on this person I spoke with earlier. It's just a tone that I've heard repetitively. I can't stand the people or the culture sometimes, but Mormons or Christians or whatever, no, the doctrine is the issue. The doctrine is the issue. And no, it's not meant to be nitpicking. It's meant to be literally, like I said, genuine concern, and myself, as well as other Christians, view it not just as a harmful doctrine, but as dangerous. Dangerous. I would be bold enough to say that. Because a counterfeit from the devil is directly not from God. I genuinely believe, and don't say this to be mean, genuinely believe Mormons have a counterfeit Jesus and a counterfeit God. And that is why I think it's so dangerous, because if you think that nothing is wrong, you will never try to leave your cage.